Welcome back to Story Time with Miss Angie. We have a very special story time today. This is our Mother's Day edition. And I just wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and grandmothers out there, stepmoms, everybody that's working so hard with our kiddos to give them a wonderful life. One of the things that I love about working at Charlotte Speech and Hearing Center is that I get to meet so many amazing people. And next month will be 20 years that I've worked at Charlotte Speech and Hearing Center. And in that 20 years, I have met some of the most amazing parents, people that have just given themselves tirelessly to their children and to making their children's lives better. And we have all kinds of kids. So we have kids that have difficulty with articulation. We have kids, and maybe they need a few months of therapy. We have kids who have severe autism, kids who have cerebral palsy, children that use computers to speak to them, to speak for them because they can't make speech sounds. And one thing that I have realized after all of these years of working with families is that we're each given our children for a reason. And you're given your child for a reason. You are the best parent for that child. And whatever happens, I know parenting right now is really, really difficult. I just want to say that whatever you're doing, it's enough. And you're enough, and your child is lucky to have you in their lives. And so happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful parents out there. Just keep going. We're all going to just push through until life gets back to normal. It may be a while, but happy Mother's Day to everybody. So I'm going to read a few of my favorite mother books. This is one we were given when my sons were little. This book is called I Love You Stinky Face. And this was one of our favorite books when my boys were little. And you're going to see when I read this book that this book has tears and it has dog-eared pages where they would mark their favorite pages so they could go back and look at it. But I want to tell you about this book, and one of the reasons that it's a favorite in our family was because we always stored our books in the children's toy shelves. So whenever they were looking for something to play with, there were lots of books down on the toy shelf. Now, there's pages missing and it's abused, but this is one of the most treasured mementos I have of my kids' childhood, because they loved the book and would go get it and read it themselves when they got a little bit older. So for this book, the first 2 pages are missing. But I'm going to tell you how it starts. So it starts with a mom laying in the bed, putting her little boy in bed, and the cuddles and kisses and lovey time that you have, that special time when we were putting them in bed. And she says to the little boy, I love you so much, my wonderful child. And he says, I love you too, Mom. But then, of course, that imagination starts kicking in, okay? And so the little boy, after she says, I love you, he says, but Mama, what if I turned into a giant, hairy ape? Would you still love me then? There he is. Check him out. He's a big, hairy ape reading his book. Oh, if you were a big, hairy ape, I would comb your whole hairy self and make sure you didn't have any tangles. And then I would make you a birthday cake out of bananas. And I would tell you, I love you, my big, hairy ape. What would you like a birthday cake made out of bananas? That's cool, huh? I like that. I love bananas. I guess that's what apes prefer. But Mama, what if I were a super smelly skunk and I smelled so bad that my name was Stinky Face? Oh my goodness. I would not like to be turned into a skunk. No, thank you. I don't think they're very popular animals, do you? Probably not. And Mama says, well, then I would give you a bath and sprinkle you with sweet smelling powder. And if you still smell bad, I wouldn't mind. I'd hug you tight and I'd whisper in your ear, I love you, Stinky Face. She doesn't care if he's stinky. Mamas don't care. They love you anyway, even if you're stinky. But Mama, what if I were an alligator? Big, sharp teeth, and I could bite your head off. Ooh, how about if he was scary? So he was stinky on the last page and now he's scary on this page. What do you think Mama's going to say? Would she run away from her alligator baby? What do you think? Nah, she wouldn't run away. Well, then I'd buy you a bigger toothbrush for your big old teeth, and I'd make sure that you brush them every night so they would stay healthy and strong. And if you had a sore throat, I'd stick my head right inside your enormous jaws, and I would make sure that you were okay, and I would say, I love you, my ferocious alligator. That's a great word, isn't it? For a fierce and scary animal, a ferocious alligator. She didn't care, did she? She stuck her face right down his neck and looked at his sore throat. I bet she told him to gargle with salt water. That's what my mama always said. But Mama, what if I were a terrible meat-eating dinosaur with razor-sharp claws that ripped my sheets to shred every night while I slept? Let's see. What's she gonna do? Well, then I'd give you plenty of meat to eat if that's what you liked, and I would sew your sheets back together every day because after all, ripping them would be an accident. Now that right there is a good mama that would sew the sheets together every night. And I would tuck you into your newly mended sheets every night and I would say, I love you, my sweet, terrible dinosaur. She sewed up his sheets every night. Why do you think she did that? Why do you think she sewed up his sheets every night? I think it's because she loves him and she was taking good care of him. But Mama, what if I were a swamp creature with slimy, smelly seaweed hanging from my body and I couldn't ever leave the swamp or I would die? This is my favorite one. You ready? You want to see what he looks like? This is my favorite one out of the whole book. Check him out. She says, well, then I would buy a house right next to the swamp and I would stay with you and I would take care of you always. And when you splash to the surface, I would say, I love you, my slimy little swamp monster. There she is, blowing him kisses. I love you anyway. But Mama, what if I were a green alien from Mars and I ate bugs instead of peanut butter? Oh, no. What if I ate bugs instead of peanut butter? That would be terrible. No, thank you. I like peanut butter. Well, then I would dress you in colors that showed off your nice green skin, and I would pack your lunch with boxes of beetles and spiders and grasshoppers and the tastiest bugs you ever had. And I would pack a note with the bugs that said, I love you, my little greenie. Bon appetit. Means good eating. Bon appetit. But Mama, what if I were a cyclops and I had just one gigantic eye in the middle of my head? Now, when my son Lawson was a little boy, he loved cyclopses. I do not know why, but he loved this page and he would stare at it. It was one of his favorites. Let's see what happens to the cyclops. Well, then I'd look right in your gigantic eye and I would say, I love you, my little cyclops. And I would sing you a lullaby until your one gigantic eyelid got droopier and droopier and finally closed and you fell fast asleep. And she stayed right there with him, didn't she? What a good mama. I love you, Mama, and I love you, my wonderful child. The end. Isn't that a great book? I know, it kind of pulls at your heartstrings a little bit. This one's fun, and I love books with so much imagination and great illustrations. My kids, I've always loved that one, so I'm glad I could share that one with you. The next book that I have is another one that I really enjoyed reading when my kids were little, and this one's called My Monster Mama Loves Me So. This is kind of a fun book too. So let's read it together. Let's count. You know what let's do? Let's count the number of words in the title of the book, shall we? Let's see how many words we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 words in the title of our book. And there's a letter that I see a lot. This letter that keeps popping up, this letter M. This is a good letter to think about for Mother's Day. Mama. My monster mama. Look at that letter M. Keeps popping up, doesn't it? Loves me so. Let's read it together. My monster mama loves me so. Let me tell you how I know. There's a nice sweet hug with the monster mama and the monster baby, huh? This time I'm going to point to the words on the page while I read them. When I wake up, she tweaks my nose, tickles all my pointy toes, combs the cobwebs from my bangs, and makes sure that I brush my fangs. Looky there. He's got sharp teeth called fangs. A little bit different than yours and mine, huh? Mama's getting him all fixed up. She gives me great big hairy hugs and bakes me cookies filled with bugs? Whew, no thank you, I don't want those cookies. I guess if I was a monster that I might like grasshopper cookies or something like that. I don't know, I ate some snails one time when I was in Savannah, so maybe it's not all that different. And when I'm sick, she's twice as nice. She gives me lizard juice with ice. Oh, do you think that would make you feel better? Lizard juice? I don't know. I think monsters eat very differently than we do. This looks the same though. Look, she's got the washcloth and wiping his little head and taking care of him while he's sick. That's what mamas do. She helps me climb the jungle gym. She takes me to the swamp to swim. You know, my family and I like to go to the YMCA and swim, but I guess if you're a monster, you would like to swim with the snakes in the swamp? That does not look fun to me, but I'm not a monster, so. She comes to all my beast ball games. Get it? Beast ball instead of baseball. She claps and stamps and roars my name. I know all about that. That's what I do. My boys play basketball, and when we go to basketball games, I yell and scream, and I love going to watch them play. And when the scary things come out to wave their arms and scream and shout, she tells me, "Don't be frightened, dear," and shows me how to disappear. Who are the scary things in this book? Not the monster. The kids are the scary things, huh? It's perspective. On rainy, windy, stormy days, she breathes and makes a cozy blaze. We read some books, toss on more logs, sing camping songs, and roast hot dogs. How about that one? Look, she started a fire. She just breathed on the wood and made a fire. That'd be cool if you're a monster and you could do that. I love building fires in the backyard. And she builds fires right there just by breathing on them. It's pretty cool. On summer evenings after dark, we go strolling through the park. We practice tricks we've learned today and gaze up at the Milky Way. That's our solar system. Check them out, enjoying the pretty night, looking up at the stars. And when the moon sets in the sky, she sings a monster lullaby of things that shriek and moan and creep, soothing things to help me sleep. Ah, isn't that the best when you're rocking him in the rocking chair? He's getting sleepy, Mama's singing to him and telling him stories, and he's gonna fall asleep right there in Mama's lap. She tucks me tightly into bed and asks me if my spider's fed. I have a dog that I feed, but he has a pet spider. And she hangs my favorite bat above me, and that's how I know my mama loves me. Does your room look like that with spider webs and bats? And I don't think that's what my room looks like. Maybe if you're a monster. Oops, one other thing is true. Your monster mama loves you too. The end. Thank you all so much for being with me today. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your Mother's Day. I want to thank so many of our community partners that are out spreading the love with all of our families. Some of these books that I have here actually today were provided by Smart Start of Mecklenburg County. They provide books and assistance for lots of families and daycares, and want to thank them as a great partner, and also mention Read Charlotte. Remember to check out Home Reading Helper and get tips on how to read with your children and get lots of resources for this time while we're in quarantine. There's a lot of people out there putting good content out. And also go back and check the Charlotte Speech and Hearing Center Facebook page. We're constantly putting out new videos and new information for families. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much.